Hello and welcome. You are watching AILTV, and I'm a man called Jay. Man, I am beaming with excitement. Now, let me tell you, I'm always talking about AILTV, bringing you news and entertainment, but also bringing you some segments that I have been praying that things will happen one day. We want to showcase Africans who are doing things at a bigger scale, but most importantly, to showcase these people on our own network. Tonight, I'm telling you, I'm so excited. I will be talking to a lady from Kenya, but based in South Africa. This lady is an innovator, business innovator. In fact, I don't want to say much about her because she will be talking about all these things. Now, without wasting time, let me jump into this. As you know, I have been saying that there are many Africans out there, all over the world, who are doing things, especially the young people, because the young people, they have left these ideas of dinosaur thinking. They're into digital revolution. And just to basically to make that point, I have got a lady here. You can actually see here in the small screen, depending where you are. It could be on the right hand side, it could be on the left hand side. Yes, this lady here is known as Horesia Nyawade. Listen to that name. Most of you who are from East Africa, especially Kenya, you will be familiar with the sound itself. Now, I want to introduce to you to Horesia Nyawade. Horesia, welcome to the program. Now,
Thank you for having me.
good. Now, before we delve into anything, you know, we had a private chat, we had a private conversation, and I have been going through the stuff that you do. Yes, they are very impressive. So I want to know, what is Vuuqa?
Thank you for having me, Mr. JJ. And I love the platform that you're hosting here at AIL. My name is Horesia Nyawade, and I'm the co founder, chief innovator, and editor in chief of Vuuqa. Vuuqa is a multidisciplinary platform. It's a digital platforms and services agency that we started in 2018. And we started initially with the marketplace, and now we've grown to add an additional platform of the e-magazine. And we also have a consulting branch in our company where we offer digital services to African owned brands and businesses. Internet.
Right. I'm back. I'm back. So I know you are based in South Africa. So why did you choose to have a base in South Africa? Is that a strategic move, or is it because South Africa is advanced, technologically speaking, than Kenya? But also we understand that Kenya is catching up. So why did you choose South Africa?
I ended up in South Africa because I came here to do my master's degree. So I moved here in early 2017 to do a full-time MBA program at the Wits Business School. My initial plan was not to start Vuuqa in South Africa, or I didn't even know that I was going to have a business that is based in Johannesburg, or rather, I would be physically based in Johannesburg because Vuuqa is a digital business. So I came here for school, and it was during those networking sessions that I was able to connect with my current business partner, Nyawade. And that's where the idea of Vuuqa was born. And that is why we ended up in Johannesburg as opposed to Kenya. However, it's important for me to note that we do business in both the countries.
So, we might actually say that, what you are doing in South Africa. Do you think you can actually do this in Kenya? Because Kenya is a modern is becoming so modern. Everybody is hyped up with Kenya. Or what do you see the difference between South Africa, Johannesburg, and Nairobi?
I believe both cities are very metropolitan in nature, both very innovative, both putting Africa on the map globally. So, as opposed to focusing on their differences, I think their similarities are what really stand out to me. And as I said earlier, we are telling stories of African leaders, African business owners, and African brands, which means that a majority of them are based in South Africa and in Kenya. As you said earlier, that we're looking at businesses that are digital, which means they're not being confined by any geographical borders anymore. So it doesn't matter where I sit. I could be in Kisumu right now, but Vuuqa is still running and it is still serving the citizens of this continent.
While we are talking, we are going to look at the website. Actually, this is a magazine which also includes the website. We will go into the website now. But also, I understand you have got this, the funky e-magazine. Talk about this e-magazine as it is flicking through.
The e-magazine is one of the platforms that I'm actually very proud of. It's my passion baby. And on there, we have recently started coining and saying that at Vuuqa, we're telling stories about the C listers in Africa, which is the majority of the business owners, who it would take a very long time for the rest of the world to recognize them with the traditional media platforms. And so when we came up with the Vuuqa eMag, it was what inspired us to come up with such a platform is that there are so many innovators, there's so many business owners and young leaders who are doing great things from the continent. And we took it upon ourselves to be able to tell that story. So, for example, for the February magazine that you can see here, we have Dr. Natalie Bitoture. This is a phenomenal leader who is a Ugandan lady. She is a serial entrepreneur, social entrepreneur. The eMag for February was based on social entrepreneurship. And she just talks about the different activities that she's a part of, the women that she's mentoring. And if you look through the magazine, you're also going to learn what is social entrepreneurship really, and what are the different types, and how can you even measure social impact in your company. So this is one of our platforms that we're very, very proud of.
Looking through this magazine, like here you are saying this is a Ugandan doctor. Is she based in South Africa?
No, she's based in Kampala, Uganda.
This is very interesting. So basically, you have already made a statement that your magazine and the website and Vuuqa is not confined in one place. So
No.
actually, Dr. Bitature, when I saw the name, I thought, how can it be in South Africa they have got a Ugandan sounding name or a Ugandan sounding name? So basically, you are actually a. I like your statement because I will go back to the statement. But what I'm trying to say here, you are looking at Africa as a whole. Whoever is doing good things, you want to know about that person.
Exactly.
So,
You got it. You hit the nail on the head.
okay, so elaborate more, because I want to know. It looks like not so many people have come up with this idea because well, okay, I don't want people to accuse me of being, I don't know what, because I have seen magazines from West Africa or South Africa even, they concentrate on their own, uh, they concentrate on their own people.
Sorry, Mr. JJ, the sound went off for a bit.
Is that I don't want to be accused of being, I don't know how to call it, but what I have learned is this. You are actually looking for people in the diaspora who are doing good things, and you want actually to include them. You want to know about them because that's what you think. My example is this. What I have seen in the past, if a magazine is from Nigeria or Ghana or South Africa, they will concentrate on those regions where they are from. So they are not kind of inclusive. I just want to know more about your thinking and your development of the idea.
Okay. If you look at the entrepreneurial landscape in the continent right now, is that the entrepreneurs are trying to make connections with other entrepreneurs from the different countries. So, for example, yesterday I received a call from one of my old classmates, and he was telling me that, "Hello, Horesia, I have just started a new business." And he reached out to me because he said, "I would love to promote what I'm doing locally here in South Africa, but most importantly, I also want to connect with other entrepreneurs in Kenya." And so the gap that we've noticed is that, which is actually what inspired Vuuqa as well, is that people don't, the way our infrastructure is set up is that it's not that easy to connect to the other fellow Africans in different countries. Although the world is our oyster at this moment, and people are offering services that can be exchanged digitally, but you just don't know, how do I connect with you? How do I work with you? The money transfer has been sorted with EFTs and everything, bank transfers, so people can do business that is just not limited to their geographic area. So Vuuqa wants to standing as that catalyst. We want to be that person that when you want to know who are the change makers in the continent at this moment, who is doing the big things, you can be able to come to Vuuqa as a sort of catalog with well curated stories and well curated profiles of these businesses, so that by the time you're reaching out to them, you have a fairly good idea of what they're doing, and you're feeling confident that this is somebody Vuuqa has spoken to, this is somebody I can trust, and continue to serve the people of this continent.
Actually, this one brings me to another, uh, because you know what, the private conversation that we had, when I look at your magazine, you see all these people who look like celebrities, well dressed and everything. And I asked you, where are who are these people and what do they do? You told me no. Your idea is actually to take everyday person or people who are doing things within the community and future them, show them what they are doing. How did you come to that point? Because many people would be going, we are chasing celebrities, but you are saying no. So
Actually, what happened is that Vuuqa, when we started a couple of years ago, we were also going through the same issue of, we are confident about what we're doing. We love what we're doing. We know that it can serve a big, big audience. However, we found ourselves competing or finding out how we're going to get somebody who's in the media to talk to us, how we're going to get them to tell our story. And if at any point we did get them to tell our story, we found that a lot of them didn't really care about how Vuuqa was interested in presenting themselves out there in the media. So there's the traditional method of journalism where they'd probably just take your story, take a specific element and ride with it. And nobody was fully covering us in a way that we felt was the way Vuuqa wanted to represent themselves. And so we started telling our own story. We started saying that, you know what, we need a catalog where how can we get into the everyday person's hand? What's one of the biggest platforms that is working well in Africa right now is WhatsApp. So we thought about it. What I can't keep sending you my website for you to continuously go online and browse what is on my website. How can I give you more fulfilling content so that you're always interacting with Vuuqa in one way or another? And then that idea grew from just being a selfish Vuuqa endeavor to say, you know what? There are many more businesses who are probably in the same position as us. There are many more businesses who are probably feeling like CNN is going to take forever before they knock on my door because probably CNN doesn't think that I am that hero, that I am doing something worth telling about. So those are the type of things that have inspired us to say, you know what, let us be those storytellers. Let us put those people on the map. Those people are the majority of the citizens in our continent anyways. So by the time a celebrity doesn't care, we found that when we actually cover celebrities, or let me say celebrities, then we don't get as much reach because even the consumers, the audience, have heard their stories over and over again. So they're tired of listening to their stories over and over again unless they're coming up with something completely new, completely revolutionary, completely out of this world. But when you hear about someone like Dr. Natalie, for example, and you hear what she is doing, the number of businesses she owns, how she's been mentored by her dad from a young age, and now she's able to take over what he's doing and add to what he's doing with her own skills, then that's a very rich story. That's a very unique story that is not being told. And that's why Vuuqa is here.
Right. Now, okay, now let us go to the website because your website here, um,
Yeah.
well, as I've said, when you go to your website, the website looks funky. It's one of the funkiest websites there is out there. And now
Thank you.
I'm gonna keep quiet. I just want just you to talk about how how you collect your content for the magazine, and because there you have got marketplace. I don't know, you have got a whole lot of things there. So take us through the website and how, because you are the chief innovator here. Uh, so you come up with all these ideas. You draw. You go into your mood board and you think, okay, this is how my website I want it to be. So tell us about your website.
So we recently relaunched the website to fully tell Vuuqa's story because we've been growing, and as a typical journey of a startup is that we initially started with that first platform that you can see up there, which is the marketplace. And the marketplace has also grown and evolved to be more of a digital notice board so that businesses that own products can list on there for free, and whoever is within the Vuuqa audience and whoever knows about Vuuqa gets a chance to browse what they have and contact them directly and purchase from them. So that's a good way to get your name out there if there's any type of products that you have in the market. And that's our baby. The next platform is the e-magazine, which I just spoke about and just told you how that came into fruition. And then the third platform there is Vuuqa Varsity. Funny thing about Vuuqa Varsity is that when we launched a couple of years ago and we were doing the roadmap, I know you've just spoken about the vision, the vision board. We did a roadmap and we said maybe in 2 to 3 years, we would like to have a platform where we're giving back, where people can learn about different types of skills. We are specifically passionate about digital skills that can help empower our youth and our entrepreneurs so that they can do business on a more global scale. And we didn't even know that it would come to life. And that's the beauty of vision boarding. That's the beauty of manifesting and putting things out there, because here we are in 2021 and Vuuqa Varsity is something that is live on our website. We have a bunch of classes that we've been able to run so far. We have a lot of info and industry experts who we want to come and speak to our audience. There's big plans for Vuuqa Varsity. And then the final one is the consulting element of Vuuqa. So outside of the Vuuqa brand, we have been able to offer our services that we've been learning, that we've been perfecting, how we've been growing our own company, anywhere from digital transformation to if you want to publish your own ebook or your own magazine or a website, then we've learned a lot as an organization and we give back those services. So that is Vuuqa in a nutshell. Those are the 4 pillars of who we are. And if you go down as well, we've spoken about how you can grow with Vuuqa. How can you capitalize on our platforms? There's anywhere from free listing, there's our biz directory, which is an affordable way to list your business on our e-magazine. And then there's just advertising to our platform. We've been able to grow to about an audience of 17,000 from 2018, and it's continuously growing. And that's Vuuqa for you.
You know, you have mentioned something very, very, very interesting. Maybe I might even have to join Vuuqa Varsity.
Yes, please.
I will be one of them joining Vuuqa Varsity. Now, you know, let us just actually stick on that Vuuqa Varsity. What kind of knowledge you gonna put out there? Are you gonna teach business, or what kind of subjects are you gonna be reaching out to people with?
So most of our subjects are going to be around digital upskilling. So far, we've done how to create an online presence for your business, how to bootstrap a digital business. We've given training on how to use some digital tools such as Canva. We recently had a session based on the current EMAG. We recently had the Social Impact Academy come and tell us how can companies measure social impact in their organization. Some of the things that you can look forward to is we're talking to some of the industry experts in our network to come and teach people how to create ads, create effective Facebook ads for their business so they can reach the right kind of people. We've spoken to our in-house doctor, psychiatrist, Dr. Sia, who is giving out knowledge to entrepreneurs and encouraging them, dealing with their mental health around the entire career path of entrepreneurship. So there's a lot that we have going on, very dynamic lessons, but everything that will be beneficial to the modern day African entrepreneur.
You know, as you are talking, my mind is just racing. I can hear a lot of things going through my mind. Okay, I'm just gonna make this special request. One thing that I have been wishing to happen is to find people, African professors and African academics, to come and talk and give ideas similar to what you are doing with the Vuuqa Varsity. So now, basically, we are not going to duplicate what is already there. AILTV is making a request. If
Mm-hmm.
we can team up with Vuuqa Varsity or Vuuqa as generally, just maybe every week we feature a person from the diaspora. If you know them, you say, well, look, come and talk about mental health. If you know somebody in business, come and talk
Yeah.
about business. And I will do vice versa. But of course, then we will have just to work out. You cannot just be doing things for free. That's this is all good. Um, this is very exciting because now to have to have our own networks whereby now we can actually sit down and discuss our own issues and also make sure how we can go down. Before I used to when I saw these catchphrases that Africa is rising, I used to say, well, how is it rising? Because I was in a negative mode. But I can
Yeah.
understand now. I can actually see it is people who actually can make Africa rise. So if I ask you, you know, there are always challenges, in everything that you do. What are the challenges have you gone through so far to where you are now? Because Vuuqa now is just, when you look at it, it looks international, it looks professional to me. There must have been challenges whereby you scratch your head and say, why is it not working? What are the challenges?
One of the biggest challenges, which is continuing to fuel Vuuqa's growth to date, is one that I've mentioned already, which has been how can more people know about what we're doing? And not because of Vuuqa, but specifically because of the phenomenal brands, businesses, and leaders that we're covering. Because there's no point of us covering them and then only 10 people read the e-magazine. Then that means the content is not landing onto the right amount of ears. The world right now is at a deficit for engaging content that is worth their time, because we're working from home, even with the recent pandemic. So people are consuming content much faster, and they're starting to discern what is good content, what do I care about. And for us, we believe in the businesses that we're covering, we believe in the people that we're covering. And one of the biggest challenges we've been facing and continue to work on is how can we put them into a bigger audience? So, for example, Mr. JJ, this interview that I'm having with you today is something that is super appreciated and welcomed by Vuuqa, because everybody who is watching today now knows about Vuuqa. They know how to pronounce Vuuqa. They know what Vuuqa does. They know where it's based, that it's online. They know that if they have a cousin or a brother or a sister who is looking for somewhere to promote their products, who wants their story told, if they have a press release that is not being taken up by the traditional media, somebody who runs a company and is looking to reach out to entrepreneurs, they have a product for entrepreneurs. Now they know, who can we advertise with, who can we reach out to? And so that's a challenge that is easily being turned into motivation that is fueling us to continuously grow and offer these opportunities to the nice community of businesses and entrepreneurs who are making up Vuuqa today.
One thing that African culture, as we are growing up, our parents have got ideas of what we should be or what we should do. So
Yeah.
you've done your master's degree. Where else? Which other university did you attend apart from the South Africa one?
So I completed my undergrad at the University of California, Riverside, where I studied business administration and information systems, and then took a 3 year period where I worked in corporate Kenya for one of the big fours, and that's when I took a break and went to do my master's. And now I've been running business. I've been running Vuuqa for the past 3 years.
Right. You know the reason why I asked this question
Hmm.
is that were there, see, as I said, when our parents, when we are growing, they want you to be a doctor, they want you to be an engineer, they want you to be something that they actually they think that, yeah, that has got value because you are a doctor. Did you actually by in your journey for studying, did any of your parents suggested that you should be something else other than going into business?
When it comes to choosing a career path, I must admit that I've had a very supportive system with my family. So, and as an individual, you also have to be very steadfast in what you want to do, because yes, your parents always want the best for you, and they will recommend what they believe is good for you. And what I did was really try my best to protect my dream and my vision, and continuously try and communicate that to my family. So in the beginning, I know it took a bit of time to find out what are you really doing, and that's because we can't blame anyone in our society right now, because there are not many people who have gone into entrepreneurship. For example, I believe that in my bloodline, I feel like I'm the first entrepreneur. So you it's something that's foreign, it's something that you have to trailblaze, it's something that you have to be confident in. Not much has been written on it, especially in our continent. What does a successful entrepreneur look like? How do you make money? What is negotiating in this space? So there's a lot of unknown territory, but I do have to say that I have been receiving the support from my family, and 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 as I continue to grow, they also continue to learn and continue to trust that whatever Horesia is working on is something that she's passionate about, and is something that she's giving her all to. And no matter what that is in life, whatever you give your all into is sure to succeed.
I just want to pause a little bit. There are people here I realize who are watching with you. Let me I don't know whether I will read these names. There is Zaidi Bayene. I have to put on my glasses. If I don't have them, I can't read. Excuse me. Okay, let's go. So there's Zaidi Bayene is watching. George Nyawade. Are you related?
That's my father.
Okay. Then there is Magdalene Sitole. This must be from South Africa, right?
Yes.
And then, of course, there is a friend of mine, Mike Bore, uh, and Yes Bahanu are watching. Mike Bore is actually a friend of mine. We used to play music together. So he's in Brussels. No, he's in Zurich. And there is Birizaf Matos. Is this a South African name? I don't know.
I,
So,
I
yeah, and then there is the Dinkanesh Asaf. I think this is Ethiopian. Then there is Sum Bayen again. Then there is another Ethiopian. Then there is Caroline Kivuka. Caroline Kivuka is also a presenter that is actually doing, is from Western Uganda. Is from that small part of Uganda that is not known, but she's actually doing a good job, like similar to what you are doing. And I'm sure she might be thinking, yeah, I just want to join up with this lady here. Right. And then there is Sam Makele. Sam Makele, I don't know who Sam Makele, but of course I don't know all of them. And then there is Steffi Manenge, Alem Kasei. Alem Kasei, actually, these are Ethiopian people. Right. And then there is Odiambo Goreti. Then Carlson Yonga again. Mase Nyawade. Who is this? Mercy.
That's my aunt. Hi, auntie. Hi, mom. Hi, everybody
Right.
who's logged
So
on. Nice to see you on here.
right. So they're all watching. And then there
Yes.
is Edward Muller. Now, but there is one lady is called Sister M Queen. She's saying this is powerful. I hear you, sister. That challenge you highlighted needs addressing worldwide. I mean, London, UK, we have that difficulty too. Maybe she's referring to the stuff that you have said and the challenges and stuff you've gone through. But okay,
Yeah,
let
I
us
think
carry on.
I believe that I, I would like to look at it as a positive call to action where it's very easy for us to promote something from someone we've seen on TV for a while. For example, when or somebody that has come from the Western TV because that's what's been presented to us. For example, when um, Black Panther was released, and then unfortunately one of the main actors passed away. You could see that was something that the whole world felt, and people were changing their profile pictures or posting this individual, and he did have a lot of impact on us and the black race in general, as a black superhero, a black actor. And the call for us as Africans is to love ourselves with that same energy. So immediately you know that your brother or your sister or somebody who is a member of this African continent is doing something great. I've taken it as a challenge for myself to promote them to the best way that I can. Because as Horesia, I'm building my own community. As Horesia from Vuuqa, I know I have access to a specific kind of audience. And at the end of the day, it costs you nothing. It costs you zero to repost something. It costs me nothing to put up my flyer today saying that I will be on with you today. And so there's people who did not know about Africans in London TV today. And just because I put it up, they now know about it. And it did not cost me any extra airtime. And that's the challenge that I have for everybody who's watching this. And just tell them that, you know what, take it upon yourself. It costs you nothing, but everybody says that to that small business, it means so much to them when their business lands on just an extra eye that didn't know about them previously. So what you can do is like, you can comment, you can share. All those are free activities that are going such a long way.
Now, you know, in South Africa, occasionally we see things happening, and some of it are not really all that good. Some of it are linked to xenophobia. Some of it are linked to, I don't know, it's because there could be South Africans who feel that there are foreigners coming, taking their jobs away or taking their opportunities away. How did it affect you in any way, or how did you navigate that way? I know I really want to talk about this because you are determined. It doesn't matter wherever you are. I know you could be put in Siberia, you could still do things. How did you navigate this issue of xenophobia in South Africa?
Mr. JJ, I want to come out right clean at the onset of this question and tell you that I haven't personally experienced xenophobia. But I do have a few words to say about xenophobia. Is that when you come into a community and you find people acting in a specific way, then it's upon you who has visited their community to take some time to understand why. So it's very easy for somebody to come into this space, specifically South Africa, because of what is being propelled out there as the news, right? That there's violence or there's xenophobic attacks, which are true, but I think it's important for you to know why. So I have to be honest and say that I haven't experienced it personally. And what I do know, in fact, has been every time I told somebody that I was Kenyan and not South African, I haven't been received with negativity. In fact, people are interested to know more about your country. They want to know more about you. And the fight for xenophobia is an economic fight. It's a fight for resources. So it's not that I hate my brother or my sister, it's that I love my family and I want to continuously feed them. So the same thing is happening in Nairobi, where there's the Sudanese refugees, there's the Somali refugees, and you can find Kenyans feeling the same way, where why are these people in my country? But I think as as Africans, we have to come from a point of compassion and understanding, and just try and understand why would this person leave their country in the first place and come to this country. Have they just come to really take our jobs as the common narrative that is? Or is there something that they really honestly couldn't raise and love their family in that space? And now they're looking for greener and better pastures. Same thing for the natives of that country, where I don't hate you for coming here, but I love my family and my people so much, I want to be able to provide for them. So when I hear this conversation about xenophobia or any kind of violence against fellow African natives, I try to think about it from a point of compassion and just understand that it's a lack of resources. It's an economic crisis and not necessarily a hate crisis.
Let's go back to our business. You have put it very good. Now, in terms of Vuuqa, how many people do you have working with you? I know you touched on it earlier on, but I just want to clarify because putting all this what I see on the screen, it is not an easy thing, because you must have researchers, you must have a whole lot of, at least a team of people, maybe 10 or how many?
So Vuuqa is a core team of 3 individuals. It's myself, my co-founder Chuela Ngube, and our chief editor director Mangoba Ringane. Then what we do as well is work with our community. For example, we have blog contributors. We have people who write different pieces for us every month because they also have stories that they want to share with the world. And then we also have, for example, the lady who from Bell and Co. who defined for us what is social entrepreneurship. That's a contribution that was educative because then she's defining to us as a company she's in charge of measuring social entrepreneurship impact in different companies. So the core team is the 3 of us, but we do partner with other individuals to make Vuuqa what it is today.
Now, you know, we are looking at this magazine. This magazine here, I know you have already said that you have got people who are writing. Are the writers from different part of Africa, or they are from, say, for example, South Africa, or where do you find them? In the shortest question, where do you find these writers?
We have a call to action on our website, our magazine, where we're constantly looking for contributors. And so what happens is that they reach out to us and tell us, look, I have a specific story I want to tell. I have a specific angle that I want to share with the world. Is it okay if I use your platform? And more times than not, we actually welcome people to do that. And one of the ladies we have is Esther Gathu. She's a Kenyan Brit based in London, and she's been contributing with us for a while. There's another lady called Bridget Mashile. She's actually one of the business owners here in South Africa. She owns a clothing brand, but she contributes her pieces every month. Um, so we have different bloggers in the travel industry who've learned about Vuuqa and said, hey, we have very cool destinations within the country that we want to share with you. Can we do that? So in short, we do welcome people to submissions at vuuqa.com if you have anything that you would like to share. Obviously, we theme our magazines on a monthly basis, but we will be in touch with you and tell you when it will be published. And one of the things we do as well is make sure that you get a chance to look at your story before it goes live, so that you can confirm if that's exactly how you'd like to be represented.
You see, um, I I have to go back and ask you this question. You know, you you are into presenting things in a more pristine way. You have to be precise. I sent a poster to my daughter. She's in Berlin. She's into modeling and making clothes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
The first thing she asked me, she said, "Who made this?" Well, I said, "Okay, I put it together." But she was commenting on the picture, and if you can actually see from the introduction, and I think I'm going to close with it. What advice would you give people? Say, for example, what I see, presentation is the biggest challenge. Many people do not actually realize that presentation is a very big thing. What kind of advice would you give to people who are into, say, selling things or advertising themselves for for whatever they want to sell, or if they want to get a job? What kind of
Yeah.
advice would you give them?
One of the mantras that I live with in my life is do everything to perfection. So I tell that to my team as well, because we need to continuously stay agile. We don't have enough time to keep reiterating things. So I try to empower them and tell them that whatever you do, do it to completion, do it to perfection, your version of perfection and completion at that exact moment. So that if at any point there has to be any type of edits, any type of corrections, they're so minor because the product was already well done. So anything extra is just the icing on the cake. Whatever you do, whatever you present yourself, wherever you're going, for example, with my interview today, by the time I sat down here, we took an hour before we went live. You and I had some time to go through this to confirm, is the platform working? Can people hear us? Are they ready? I had to get ready to be here, mentally prepare myself, make sure I've eaten, so that by the time I'm sitting here with you, I'm not feeling like this interview needs to end because I'm sleepy, or this interview needs to end because I need to eat. So my advice to anyone is take your time to prepare, and whatever you're done with, be sure that you as an individual are proud of your product. And it might not be the best to other people's eyes, but what matters is that for you, you know you gave your 100%. So give 100% in whatever you do.
You see, this is what I'm talking about here. So let me see. I just want to pause this. Right. Okay. You see, okay, the picture is still playing in the back. I just want to know how did, okay, I just want you to explain this photograph and how long did it take you? to get this photograph taken?
The photograph is something that I've been planning to do for my new year, as I'm also going to be launching a new business in March, which is my personal brand. So I said, you know what? I have to continuously show up as the lady that I believe I am, as the leader that I believe I am, and that matters in representation as well. So when you're going for an interview, for example, they tell you that you need to dress up for the job that you believe you deserve. So it's the same thing online. I could be here in my summer hat and be the fun-loving Horesia that I like to be, but there's also a way that I can present myself to know that for the next level that I'm stepping into, how do I want to present myself? And so that also inspired the new look and how when people come online, who are they going to see? That was the inspiration behind the photo.
Well, I think we are getting near to the end of the interview. I wish we had more time. We could speak and speak and speak. Now, I just want to recap here. I just want to ask. This is just a silly question. Everybody asks this question. That how would you like to see Vuuqa in 5 years' time? No, let me phrase it this way. Do you have got a short term, medium term, and long term projects? So that's
Yeah.
how I would put it. Because, say, for example, from 5 years from now, where do you
Yeah.
want to see Vuuqa?
So Vuuqa has we've already come such a long way and we are very excited to accelerate into the next level. And right now, I feel like if, for example, if we take building a house, we have completed the foundation. So we believe that we have a very solid foundation that we can only go up from here. Some of the plans we have, as I said, was we just recently launched Vuuqa Podcast. That's the third platform other than the marketplace and the e-magazine. That's where we can have a visual podcast to just tell these same stories so that people can have different ways of consuming this media. Not everyone likes to read or not everyone likes to shop. Some want to watch. And so that's a space that we are getting into this year. We're also looking to partner with some of the bigger corporations and get into their enterprise development programs, tap into their entrepreneurial ecosystems and continuously grow Vuuqa. That's some of our short term plans. And in long term, we want to be able to have issues and our platforms continuously cover every single small country within the continent. So right now we've been focusing on South Africa and Kenya, but we easily want to cover Djibouti. You don't even know what's happening there. We want to be able to cover Malawi and the other countries, tap into West Africa, because again, the list is endless. The list of these everyday leaders is endless, and we want to be that vehicle that brings their story and steers their story into the world.
So I can see doing good things. It always takes a long time.
Yes.
I normally tell people AILTV started probably 20 years ago in a totally different format. Now we have shifted to online TV, but to me it is not new because my idea, when I was at university, I was paying attention to what is going to happen in the future. Now,
Mhm.
I struggled to tell people that people, they will be watching TV on mobile phones. They didn't want to believe me. I went into pubs, taking out set-top boxes and stuff like that, but nobody would pay attention. Now, with Vuuqa, I can see But do you think that because of the pandemic, it has brought this thing together of online business and online TV? Because I can guarantee you, 3 years ago, never mind 15 years ago, 3 years ago, I was still convincing people to to embrace online TV, online content. So with pandemic, how do you navigate with this pandemic? Coronavirus thing. Did it affect your business in a way, or actually it didn't have any negative impact because everything is happening online?
Yes, I'll be the first to say that the unfortunately the pandemic actually really propelled our business into the next level. It validated a lot of what we were doing. It made our promotion a lot easier because for once people now had time. People were indoors. People who didn't previously have, for example, maybe online internet in their house were now installing it. People had gone through their entire Netflix catalog and are looking for new things to consume. So the pandemic did really help propel us into the next level and at least give people the chance to listen to us and to find out what are these people actually doing, what is Vuuqa up to. And so we'll forever be grateful for that. And the pandemic also drove us to say that it also gave us the confidence to know that we need to keep pushing with this digital space, that the idea we've had to be digital is actually valid, and we need to continue trailblazing and coming up with new ideas and not being complacent and finding out ways that we can entertain and educate and and reach the biggest and make the biggest impact possible digitally. So, and rest in peace to everybody who has lost a loved one during this pandemic. We've gone through it as well. But there's always a bright side, always a silver lining to every dark cloud, and we'd like to say that it did help us, and we are grateful for that.
Well, what can I say? I am so grateful that we have managed to go through the entire interview for 1 hour. Even the internet has actually held up for us. so, so Horesia, I must thank you very, 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 very much for agreeing to do this interview. And what can I say? The people who are watching, and many of those actually will continue watching, but I think now you have brought in a different dimension onto AILTV, and first class. So I don't know. I don't know whether you would like to add onto that. Just 1 minute to our viewers, and then I will address and move on and close.
Asante sana, Mr. JJ. Thank you so much for seeing me, for having this vision to have this interview. I know it's been a long time coming. Thank you for being patient. Greetings to your audience, and thank you for everybody who logged in. We appreciate you. Our website is up. Vuuqa is constantly growing. We ask that if you can subscribe into our audience so that you stay in touch with every new thing that keeps happening. We are big on email. We'll always update you. We have a Vuuqa WhatsApp group where we allow businesses to promote their business for free once a month. So there's a lot going on. We welcome you to join our community. Mr. JJ, Asante sana.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before I close, actually, let me thank everybody who has actually logged in to watch. It is very, very interesting to hear this young woman actually telling the story of her vision and what she wants to do. You know, and I'm sure there are others out there. If you are in London, yeah, get in touch with her or log on to vuuqa.com, get in touch with her. She's 24 hours ready for you. Right. Now, but also, this is what I want to say to you guys. AILTV is committed to producing high quality programs about Africans and African Caribbeans. So, in these programs, we produce current affairs, business shows like what we are doing here, but also we want people to come with their own ideas. Let us produce them, especially women. We want to hear from women. We will teach them. We will run workshops on production, camera, sound, and everything. Believe me, you can do everything. So that is one. But also, if you are a designer, or you are into fashion, or you design accessories, AILTV has created a program. In fact, we will be piloting a program. It is called Quality African Clothing Plus, and the plus is actually accessories. What we want to do, and for those of you who have seen QVC, this is going to be the QVC equivalent, but on the African side. We have got so much, man. We have got so much clothing. You see, all these things that we are wearing, we shouldn't be wearing them. Okay, I might sound as a hypocrite, but I don't have an African outfit. I will go out there and get one. But if you, let me repeat, if you are a designer, you design hats, shoes, or any kind of accessories, this pilot is going to be, you will be selling stuff online, but you have to be ready. That means you have to have your product. You have to know how you are going to ship it. You have to know how you are going to collect the money, and that's it. I have spoken so much, and look, man, tonight I'm going to sleep. Normally I do not sleep. So I'm going to sleep happy. Ciao, Horesia. We will see you.
Thank you, Mr. JJ.
Fantastic. I am going to leave you with an intro, with this is the picture that I'm talking about, and it's going to close the show. Yes.